Today we're gonna look at the newest device in Fortnite, the player tracker. We're gonna look at things that you can create such as player rankings, mini games, and so much more, and what the intended purpose of this device actually is. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright, starting off with the basics, you can find the player tracker obviously under the creative and device category. This is the latest and newest added device, so it will be in the first row. This will probably change in the future. So in the future you can probably find it under the players tab. Right now it is not in any category, but if it gets moved in the future it will probably move down to the player category. Also very important, before we go into the settings, this device also has an inventory, which is essential for this device. You can just go here and drag up to 2 items into this thing. So for example, we're gonna drop gold coins and a shotgun in here. And you can see now both of these items are in this device and can be used with this device. The device can be customized with an icon, a special name, obviously the items that you put into this device, and also a health and shield bar. You can also show how far a player is away that is equipped with this device. Now if the player picks up the items that we beforehand put into the device, you can see that the numbers on the screen will also go up according to whatever number of items the player is going to pick up. So in this case 500 gold and 1 shotgun. So now the whole purpose of this device is not to actually send out signals if a limit or a number is reached for these items that we put in. You can all do that obviously in the settings, and you have different kind of comparison that you can do. For example, the first item trigger condition can be set to different kind of settings, for example equal or fewer. So it has to be at least 1 or 0 to actually trigger something in the settings. And you can also do the same thing with the second item. You have 4 different settings to sending signals to something else. You have first item value reached, you have second item value reached, and you obviously have first item and second item amount changed. So that basically means if anything changes in the player's inventory that has these 2 items that we equipped, there's going to be a signal sent. And with the signal sent, you can obviously send that to, for example, ending a game or reaching a certain level, or basically just progressing in a tracker. So that means that the player marker works actually really well in combination with the tracker, because if you want to go really custom in the tracker, you obviously have the preset options here, but you can always turn on the channel option, which allows you to have free control over what is going to be tracked. And for example, you can now use the items that are in the player marker to track them in the tracker, and this is how it could actually look in combination. So we have the player tracker, which our custom settings, right? Everything here that is completely on you, it doesn't really matter. We have the name gold collector. Now the important part comes down here. We have our first item triggered equal to 500. This is our gold, so we need 500 gold to trigger the first time. And for the second item, which is a shotgun, we have equal to 1. So we need 500 gold and 1 shotgun to send signals. And on the channels we obviously have when first item value reached, send out channel 1, and for second item we're gonna use the same channels. So now we can move to the tracker, and in here it's even easier. All we need to do is set this to channels. Obviously we set the target value to 2 because we obviously have 2 quests in our player marker. Then we're gonna name it custom. We have gold collector, collect 500 gold, and then we only need this 1 channel for increment progress when receiving from. So we need 2 signals sent, which is obviously completing our 2 quests in our device, and then the tracker is going to be completed, and then we basically completed the quest. So this is now how you will look for other players. Obviously you cannot see this for yourself, but as you can see, if we now pick up this 500 gold, so now you can see that we have 1 of 2 challenges completed, which then obviously was the first signal. And now if you pick up the shotgun, we complete the second one, and we completed the quest in the tracker. It is that simple and super easy to set up, and you can go even crazier with that. A very interesting thing that you can do is obviously just use the aesthetics of this device. Masterplay did a really good example, and I'll definitely show you the link in the description, where you basically use the icons and the ability to track players in the minimap and outside of the minimap, obviously, to create a mini game. And he has a full tutorial on how he created that on his channel, so definitely highly recommend checking that out. However, the other thing which a lot of people ask me about is the ranking system. Creating a level system is actually fairly easy, and you can even save the levels if you use the right systems. Okay, I quickly want to show you guys how you can create the most basic level system that you can create. Obviously, you need the player marker for this one, and the player marker in this case is really just the visuals. So for example, I have the show icon level 1. You can go up to 9. You can obviously choose colors and stuff like that. That is completely on you. It depends on you how you want to do the level. Give it a name, and in this case we're going to use 2 channels. We have a detach and an attach channel for the different players. Obviously we want to have classes in this case, as you can see, so we're going to attach them to classes. And as soon as a player changes a class, for example this is the level 1 class with the gray shotgun, and this one is the level 2 class with the green shotgun, which again is a super basic system. And in these class identifiers you can basically do whatever you want. There's really no limits to you. Just make sure that it has the right class identifier, and obviously in names you can easily identify it. The magic comes obviously then when applying the class or the level to player. You need the class selector for that. All you need to do is change a few settings. For example, the class to switch needs to be obviously the same one as the class that you want to give level 1 to. And then down here you change a few settings for like instant time switch. And then the most important one is when class is switched, transmit a signal. and this signal should be the same one as the one that is getting attached to a different player. So you can see that we have channel 2 as well for detaching it. So this is obviously the other class that's level 2. If you have more levels, then you need to have a more like a refined system, but you know the basic principle of this. That means obviously if I get level 2, I don't want the level 1 player marker still attached to me, so I have to detach it and then attach the level 2 marker. And as you can see, this is basically just the same settings but reverse. As already said, if you have more levels, then you definitely need to do a different system here for the detaching. Otherwise, this will probably get a little bit messy. But overall, the system in itself is super easy to create. You can go really free with this one. The cool thing about this is if you actually use classes, you can also save them in the save point device, which then means that you can have it like saved in the game, and you don't have to reapply it every time the player joins or something. They don't have to redo the entire thing. Because the player marker does not get saved by the save point yet, maybe that comes in the future, you need to find a different system. And I think using the classes is the easiest one and simplest one to do. You can obviously use like checkpoints, locations, team. These kind of all work and will definitely give you different levels. I think with the class system, this is definitely the easiest one to do. So there's one last thing which I have to say again, which even was in the patch notes, that you have to change a setting in your island settings to make sure that everybody can actually see the level or the display, whatever, on top of the players. And that is the always show nameplates. You have to set that to always show to all. By default, this is to team. So basically only teammates will see this for you. But if you want everybody to see it, make sure that it's set to all. And this wraps it up for the player tracker. The player tracker has so much potential, and I'm really excited to see what you guys create with this one. If you found this helpful, or if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below, and I will see you guys back in the next one. Bye.